Hello, Austin ISD. Happy Pride Week. My name is Susie, and I'm actually a graduate of AISD's Crockett High School, class of 2013. I know, such a long time ago. Well, now I live here in New York City, and by day I work as an executive assistant to a dental company, and I do PR and marketing. And by night, I am a fabulous drag queen. I'm so excited for all the safe and supportive and inclusive events that took place this week for Pride Week. I heard students participate in activities that align with AAC's vision to be Austin's home for inclusive learning. You guys hosted pride circles and talked about the importance of being an ally. Every campus received pride swag, including banners, buttons, stickers, masks, flags, everything, the works. And AISD is piloting the Out Youth Texas GSA network, Be a Beacon LGBTQIA+ 101 professional learning for staff. So, before I introduce today's keynote speaker, I wanted to give some fun shout-outs. I would like to thank the League of AT&T for the rainbow mask and the donation that went to all the campuses. And I would like to thank all our presenters and our partner organizations today. You guys have been so amazing. And thank you, AASD counseling and SEL teams. You guys rock. I would also like to thank the Pride Planning Committee for making this the biggest Pride Week for Austin ISD. I wish I had this back when I was in school. And last, but certainly not least, I would like to thank a personal thanks for my old high school theater director, Christina Burbank Shelton. Thank you for pushing me, and thank you for making me the star that I am today, because I know that Austin ISD has a whole lot more stars, and I can't wait to see all of them grow. I just want to say that you guys are amazing, and you've all been rock stars, and that AISD Pride Week has truly been a time to celebrate, inform, and inspire. And that's what our community is all about. Now, I have the honor and privilege to introduce today's keynote speaker, author, psychotherapist, CEO, and founder of Gay Sons and Mothers. Please give a warm welcome to Rick Miller.
Thank you. Too bad I don't get to meet Susia in person. I am thrilled to be here. I just want to make sure that you can hear me.
Yes.
Good, thank you. I'll also speak slowly for the interpreters. So thank you for being here, everyone. Today's focus is called Allyship, Thriving in the Company of Others. So just get comfortable in your seat, let your body settle in into a great place and take a few deep breaths. Excellent. We are here together. You are not alone. Even if it feels like you are not. Every person here knows what it feels like to be alone or lonely. Yet, in this moment, each of us has chosen to be here together to attend this wonderful event, and each of us will get something from being here. For the last 38 years, I've been a therapist. Yes, I started when I was 2. I've conversed with all kinds of people needing support or help, and I've specialized in working with the LGBTQ+ community for the duration of my career. Some people seek therapy because of feeling unrecognized or misunderstood. Some people feel alienated, have been ostracized and marginalized by others, or even worse, abused mentally or physically. This is pain. However, working in the field of mental health has been one of the biggest privileges of my life. I get to help people find a pathway towards healing and growth. Being in the front row as cheerleader, parental figure, or a source of encouragement for those not allowing themselves to thrive. My message is a message of power. You can do it, is what I convey. In the last 3 years since I founded Gay Sons and Mothers, I've also had amazing opportunities to get to know various mothers of LGBTQ plus children, their families and communities, and we get to spread the word about the meaning of acceptance and allyship. We have incredible stories of joy, love, forgiveness, and acceptance. And this project affirms that even when we don't get what we want, that we can adapt to unforeseen circumstances and we can stretch ourselves in order to grow. Please follow us on Instagram or Facebook, Gay Sons and Mothers, or our website, gaysonsandmothers.org. So by now you're getting my message. My message is about transformation. And transformation is possible with company from others. Each of you, people in your lives, it gets better. I wouldn't be doing this work for 38 years if I didn't know this were true. So settle in again, close your eyes, find comfort, and just listen to my next sentence. We are allies to each other. I am an ally for you. You are an ally for me and for everyone else here. Absorb that message. Thank you. I'm proud of you for being here. We cannot do this alone. Despite how hard things may be, hope pulls us along, inviting and challenging us to utilize our strength within, to experience joy and happiness. And instead of defining ourselves by the negative messages that we have been fed by others, we can change our own narrative by appreciating and incorporating the positive messages that we receive from others. Accentuate those messages. I ask you to shift away from fixating on the negative feedback that you've been given. Maybe because you're LGBTQ plus and don't fit in, or maybe because you have an LGBTQ plus family member who doesn't meet the definitions of what culture has taught you. Instead, incorporate the love and the allyship from others to define who you are. It can be done by focusing from the inside first, from here, instead of from the outside in. Focus. Really listen to the positive messages you receive in order to rid yourself of agony and suffering. This is your challenge, but it's also your choice. Michelle Obama, a woman who I greatly admire because she's so inclusive, says the following: we should always have 3 friends in our lives. One who walks ahead, who we look up to and follow. One who walks beside us, who is with us every step of our journey. And one who we reach back for and bring along after we have cleared the way. How amazing is that? Again, we are not alone. Throughout our lives, we have these powerful moments. Somebody is able to see us for who we really are and touch us in profound ways. Even the unspoken messages that are inferred help make our personal narrative strong and positive. There is always someone out there who validates us. We don't get to choose who these people are, but they show up for us, and we get to absorb their caring and internalize those messages of love. It is our personal responsibility to allow this. Your mental health is what matters most, and your physical well-being is essential, especially while some people are trying to take your freedom away in this very state. Who are the allies? Who has been there for you? Who has magically shown up as a kid, as a teenager? Who are the adults nearby that let you know that you mattered? Even if it wasn't spoken, you could feel this from them, a gesture or a look in their eyes. For some, it might be a parent. For others, a grandparent. Maybe an aunt or an uncle. I had a session 2 days ago with a 59-year-old gay man whose 21-year-old nephew was struggling with coming out. And I spoke to him about being a model. And being a model doesn't mean being heroic. It just means being yourself and knowing that there are people that feed off of your own sense of self, who you inspire. Maybe it's a neighbor down the street who smiles at you. Or maybe it was your teacher, like Christina, your drama teacher, or a clerk in the store, or a bus driver. Or maybe you are the ally listening in this moment. Maybe you're the teacher or the guidance counselor or the neighbor who has fed someone going down your street. Own your own power as an ally as you listen to me. These moments are transformative because in the midst of turmoil, someone is there for you. Maybe it's a like on your social media post. Maybe it's a follow on your social media page or a comment on your TikTok. I didn't really know what TikTok was until a few weeks ago, and I started a page with gay sons and mothers, and I featured Jose from Texas, who had the most unfortunate circumstances. And there are hundreds and hundreds of comments of love and support. I was speaking with a non-binary client the other day who was saying that they learned so much from TikTok. This is how we grow. You find the people out there. Sometimes we don't always appreciate the affirming messages that we get in the moment. Sometimes it takes time. We need to step away, or months later, something rings with us, or years later, or even decades later. Again, I get the privilege of sitting in my office with clients who recognize that 40 years ago, someone said something that sticked. How incredible. So in this moment, trust that you are hearing something from me that is going to stick. You don't have to know what it is now, but it will be there for you when the moment is right. I want to say a few things about resiliency. Resiliency is the capacity to recover from difficulties and spring right back into shape. This is what we strive for. For me, as a therapist, after spending years of educating people about pathology, I shifted my stance to help people recognize their strengths and use them in order to grow. So I use now a strength-based approach. Make meaning from pain, and using it to build optimism is the point. There's a research done about LGBTQ minorities that says that the pain and struggles that these people feel makes them more stress hardy in life. And though I wouldn't wish this pain on anyone, it's nice to know that people adapt and find a way of becoming more strong. Time and time again, I hear people making meaning from trauma. They say things like, I wouldn't want to have to go through this again, but I have learned and I've changed from this, and I would never want to go back. That is resilience. My colleague and friend, Lynn Lyons, specializes in anxiety, and she says the following: connecting to your past success is the key element to preventing anxiety. There you go, that says it all. But anxiety wants you to forget about your past, wants you to forget about accomplishments and resilience, and it wants you to disregard what you've done well. So I say, choose joy, go back, grab onto what you've done well, magnify those moments, don't minimize them, magnify them. Our biggest allies are our own bodies. So sit up straight in your seat one more time. Take a big breath in, put your arms above your head, loosen up, and let go. Notice how quickly you created a shift inside your body. This is the mind-body connection. We are not two separate organisms living inside. This is all unified. Our mind and our bodies are one. Your mind is what you think, and what you think determines how you feel. Therefore, think positive. Donald Meichenbaum is a founder of cognitive therapy, and he's on our advisory board to Gay Sons and Mothers. He speaks about an attitude of gratitude. Your body is the place where comfort and peace is key. This impacts how you think, good feelings. So stick with the cyclical nature of your mind and body and nourish both. Commit now to taking care of your mind and your body. Catch yourself in your negative thinking and reframe your thoughts to more positive thoughts whenever you can. Do meditation or relaxation exercises. Eat well. Exercise. Make sure to sleep well. Control how many hours of work each week you do. Give back. Engage in spiritual activities. For some people, this is religious. For others, it may be being out in nature. You know what that is for you. And keep a journal of success. Keep it handy nearby. Bring success in. Austin ISD inspires all students to make a positive contribution to society. I read that quote this week. It spoke to me. Each of you can do this. Each of you will do this. Appreciate others who are your biggest allies. Commit to doing the same for those that are near you. And most importantly, nominate yourself in being your best ally. Thank you.
We can be together now and forever. I love you. opening up, they're calling our own, and they're saying, I love you, 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 I love you. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day and dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. People all over the world are opening up, they're coming around, and they're saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, we can be together now and forever. I love you, I love you, I love you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful
Again, snaps for that wonderful tribute. If you are in the attendees and you are a panelist, please send a message in the chat and Allie will let you into the panel session. So here we go. Just a quick review of what's going to happen right now for everybody. Again, oh, in case I haven't mentioned it, my name is Christina Burbank Shelton. I go by she, her, and I am the Pride Coordinator for Austin ISD. And it has been my absolute privilege to be on this project and work with everyone. And y'all have been fabulous. And I have a huge list of thank yous to say at the end of this panel today. So for now, what's happening with the panel? Okay, we have all of our organizations that presented throughout the day, plus a representative from AISD. And each of them is going to take 1 to 2 minutes to give you a spiel about who they are, what their organization represents. And then I will introduce one at a time. They will do that. And then at the end of that, after each person gets to introduce themselves, then we will have a Q&A. And you can put your Q&As into the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. And myself and Allie, who is the Assistant Director of Community Engagement for Austin ISD, we'll be monitoring that chat and we'll ask questions, and it could be specific to one of the organizations or to the person, or it can be a general question and somebody can be like, hey, I'll take that one. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started right now, right at 12:40, perfect timing. We will start with our first panelist, and this is in alphabetical order. We'll start with Frederick Heather with the Texas GSA Network. Go ahead and unmute yourselves when it's your turn to talk. Thank you.
Hey y'all, thank you so much for being here for AASD Pride Week. It has been an honor and a privilege to get to work with everyone in the Pride Week Planning Committee. Christina, your leadership has been phenomenal. Thank you. I feel so privileged to get to work in a city in a district that really is doing so much to try and be inclusive. And of course, we've got a long way to go, but we're really working a lot on this. I am the Texas GSA Network Coordinator. I am based out of OutYouth in Austin, Texas on Comanche, Tonkawa, Jumanos, and Coahuiltecan land. My pronouns are they, them. And I am here to help any students, teachers, staff on campuses across Texas start and sustain gender and sexuality alliance clubs. We had a great discussion in Dr. Stephen Russell's panel on using research to tell your story about the importance of GSA clubs, and we'll get into that a little bit more later. But for now, I'm just going to drop the link for the toolkits section of the Texas GSA Network website, and that is a collection of information and resources that students and teachers can use to support their GSA clubs. Thanks so much, everybody.
Snaps for Frederick and the Texas GSA Network. Thank you so much. Up next, we have Dr. Grayson Hunt from UT Austin.
Hi, everybody. I'm Grayson Hunt, and I use he and they pronouns. Today, I was calling in to represent the LGBTQ Studies program that operates out of the Center for Women's and Gender Studies at UT Austin. So I will drop that link in the chat. There it is. But I was also here representing as a bisexual and transgender person. And so one of my two panels was on how we can build solidarity between bi and trans people and overcome a lot of the stigma and erasure that we face. So I'm here for all the questions, and I'll also drop my email in case any of you want to talk to me more about coalition building. I'm happy to be here, and thank you.
Thank you, Grayson from UT Austin. Up next, we have Jessica Sukup, the co-chair of GLSEN Austin and vice chair of Tent Austin.
Hi, Jessica Sukup, she, her pronouns. I'm vice board chair for the Transgender Education Network of Texas. As Christina mentioned, I'm also co-chair for GLSEN Austin, and I work with Embrace and Quell, and I'm a serve on the board of Quell and the Central Texas Transgender Health Coalition. And so, I kind of have my hands in a lot of different places. I work at Texas State University, where I do a lot of allyship training for faculty and staff, and coordinate the Allies program there, again, for faculty and staff. And then, this has been a really amazing event, and I want to just kind of recognize the people that put it together. It's been such a pleasure to work with everything. It's been so well organized, and that's been wonderful. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. And I do want to say that you are the reason why I upgraded my Zoom back in September, when you're like, hey, do you have a call-in option? So I got the upgrade because of you. So thank you so much for that. Anybody running Zoom meetings, you understand what I'm talking about. Up next, we have Juby Heron from Interact Austin. Do I have Juby here? Okay. She may just be late or be stuck in the attendees. Allie, just check on that real quick. Okay, up next we have Kelly Rapone. She is the author of Parent Up.
Is she
Kelly.
getting permissions? Oh, there
Yeah.
she is. I want to make sure she had permission to unmute.
I'm so sorry. That's
Yeah.
totally my
Oh,
fault.
there I
Kelly.
am. Okay, I'm sorry. I was Susan for a while and my camera was blocked. Just thank you so much. And the whole idea of allyship is to find vetted sources. And you all have support, you have provided that, because the key thing is in order to support, we cannot rely on our friends and our children or parents to be our teachers when they come out to us. So we really need to look for independent and vetted sources, trustworthy sources. So thank you so much, and emphasizing the message about listening, leaning in, and truly listening and giving a safe space for someone to share their authentic self. So thank you for inviting me today.
Thank you, Kelly. And Kelly was with Karina Monta, and I'm assuming that session went pretty well. Karina's all the way in the UK, right?
Actually,
Sorry.
I think she might be the other Suzanne Kearns at the bottom of the list.
Oh, okay.
We were all
Oh, there she is.
Yay.
All right. So the other Suzanne Kearns at the bottom of the list. Suzanne, you are very famous today. You have lots of names. So we have Karina Monta, who is also the author of On Top of Glass. Thank you so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your organization.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. My name is Karina Monta. I use she, her pronouns. I am professionally competitive, or I was a competitive figure skater, and now I'm a professional figure skater. And I wrote a book about my experiences as being one of the only out female figure skaters on the circuit at the time. And I grew up in fairly conservative places where I didn't have access to a lot of stories about other queer people. And so I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share my story and hopefully give other queer kids, queer teens access to examples of what their lives could look like.
Thank you so much, Karina. I'm so glad that you were able to join us today. And can you unmute one more time and tell us, where are you located at?
I was in the UK and now I'm in Marietta, Georgia.
Georgia. Okay, work on them. Work on Georgia. And
Yeah.
things going on over there in Georgia. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being here with us. I know there were some confusions about names. I think we're in a good place where we've got everybody named properly. So I will keep going down the list. Up next, we have student athlete and trans activist right here from Texas, Mac Beggs.
Hi, how's everyone doing today? My name is Mac Beggs, and I'm a trans athlete. I'm a former wrestler, and right now training MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, and Muay Thai. I just want to thank Christina and the whole team that is inviting me to be a part of this ordeal and being able to talk to everybody. It's super important to me because I just want to be able to teach other kids and other people and, everybody individually that, everyone at the end of the day is a human being. And no matter what we go through, we are all the same, and we are all just trying to be better allies for each other and our experiences. So I am just so honored to be here, and I'm just glad I'm able to talk about what I was able to talk about in my session today, which is mental health in sports, and which is really important because I feel like, as an athlete growing up, it was super important to me that with all the barriers and everything that I was going through, that I needed allies, I needed people that I needed to talk to in order to go through the experiences that I was experiencing. So I have gone through a lot of trial and errors, a lot of barriers. So I'm so happy to be here. It's a beautiful day in actually Dallas, Texas right now. So I'm so honored to be here. So glad to be a part of this. I'm going to drop my social medias and my email. If any of y'all have questions of any, trans athletes that are going through these hard times right now, that need an opening ear to talk to, or from any other personal experiences, just go ahead and tell them to reach out to me. I would be glad to talk to them. So thank you so much. And thank you, Christina. This has been an awesome time. I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you so much, Mac. I have had an incredible journey communicating with so many of you. It's been super great. I do want to make a connection that Karina you're in Georgia and Mac goes to school in Georgia. So maybe the two of y'all should be friends. Just saying. Perfect. Okay, up next, we have the VP of Membership at PFLAG Austin, Maisha Leah. And I'm sorry if I said Maisha incorrectly. You're going to correct me right now. Let's see it.
It's Masha Leah.
Masha. Thank you, Masha.
As said, I am the Vice President of Membership of PFLAG, and PFLAG is an organization that helps parents of LGBT people and also their children. And sometimes the parents come by themselves, sometimes the children come by themselves, sometimes they come as a family. And there's 3 calls every month, about 12 to 15 people on each call, and collectively we have a lot of experience as to how to go through life and deal and navigate through the treacherous roads of sometimes being an LGBTQ member. I'm a trans woman. I go by she, her, and proud to say Mrs. And I also have a trans son, which sort of gives me a unique perspective. Maybe something was in the water in our family drinking up, I don't know, but does give me a unique perspective. And although I didn't present today about it, but there's also a Jewish LGBT organization called Keshet Austin, and Keshet in Hebrew means rainbow. So, and I'm sure there's other faiths and other affiliated organizations, but if you're Jewish, there's an organization for you too. Thank you.
Thank you, Masha. I super appreciate your story. If you could also drop some of the links that the organizations you just said, and panelists, if you're communicating with attendees, please make sure that it says to all panelists and attendees in your messaging in the chat. Moving on, we have Matthew Shedd and Suzanne Kearns from the Informed Parents of Austin, and y'all can tag team how you want to talk.
I'll start because Matt's so polite. He's so polite. So my name is Suzanne Kearns. My pronouns are she, her. And as he just said, Matt and I run a group called the Informed Parents of Austin. And although it was originally started to help other clueless allies like me try to get informed and get involved in supporting LGBTQ students, it has really turned into an amazing gathering place for LGBTQ parents as well, parents of LGBTQ students, and it's everyone is welcome there, allies and anybody who can help us be better allies. So, Matt, you want to say a little bit more about the group?
Sure. I'm Matt. I use he, him pronouns. Informed parents. We're very interested in what's going on in the school district, supporting what's going on in the school district. Our group shares resources, stories, articles. It's a very vibrant community, knowing what's going on and connecting folks. And thank you guys for doing this. It's been awesome hearing the student voices and also having parents connect together. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, up next we have Michelle Resnick. Michelle Resnick is the AIC Health and Physical Education Supervisor. And she's representing AISD, and she will introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. What a great morning. Thank you, Christina, and the group that's put this on, and all the presenters. It's been so wonderful. I've been in the district for over 30 years and in this position for the last 16. And one of, just besides being over health and physical education, coordinated school health is another piece of my job, which is behind me. And that's a systematic approach to make sure that we are all working together for kids' health. And another piece to my job is writing the curriculum for the human sexuality and responsibility piece. So I will, yes, thank you, Suzanne, appreciate it. I will drop in the link to that because we do post all of our lessons, 3rd through 8th grade, on the website. We're also working on updating our K2. And we also have some family resources that I'd like to share. So thank you again.
Thank you, Michelle. Up next, we have Munib. And Munib, I think you have someone with you there today. I want to say Kevin. I'm not certain. I'm using my memory. So if you can give us a little bit of info on Embrace Austin.
Sure. Howdy, y'all. My name is Meebs Aslam. I'm here with...
I'm Kevin Barajas.
And we are here today with Embrace Austin. So Embrace Austin is a coalition of LGBTQIA individuals, organizations, and businesses in Austin. So I work on the development team, as well as the inclusion, diversity, equity, and accessibility team, also known as IDEA. I'm a UT Austin graduate. I'm queer, disabled, and an immigrant from Saudi Arabia. What we do at Embrace is we do coalition building in core communities where we try to be as inclusive as possible. And my passions personally are fighting for civil rights and uplifting marginalized communities. There's a lot of work to be done. So I'm gonna drop our Embrace link and my email if you wanna join Embrace or build a coalition or collaborate.
So I'm Kevin. I am a student over here at UT Austin. I'm a junior, and I also work with Embrace Austin. So I'm on the development teams, and I also do a lot of event planning. So we'll be doing something called Proud Voices soon. So please keep that name in your head. We'll be doing that for Pride Month. A lot of what Embrace Austin does is coalition building. What we like to do is we like to go with different groups, LGBTQ orgs, and really try to have this tent we can all work together. And it's very important to focus on specific issues, but it's also very important to come together and really try to brainstorm and put together plans to tackle a lot of the issues that need a lot of efforts that can't be done with just one group. So we do a lot of events, we do a lot of planning. We try to empower queer businesses, we try to empower queer individuals and uplift more communities that are most marginalized, or to just in general have everybody accommodated.
There's nearly 1 million LGBTQ plus people in Texas, and we try to support queer economy, queer rights, and so on. So if you want to collaborate with us, I'll put the links down here. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank y'all so much. I accidentally muted instead of unmuted. Here we go. We'll keep going. We have Ricardo Martinez with Equality Austin.
Hi, my name is Ricardo Martinez, and I'm with Equality Texas, not just Equality Austin.
Yes.
And Equality Texas is the largest statewide organization working to secure full lived equality for LGBTQ plus people. And we do this through education, community organizing, and collaboration. We are super focused right now, hyper focused right now on everything that's happening at the Capitol. So we are working to defeat all of these 30 plus anti-LGBTQ bills that have been filed this year, while also trying to support some of the very many pro-LGBTQ bills that have been introduced at the state legislature. Since we only do this every 2 years, it is jam-packed with really interesting things, really horrible things, but I think throughout it all, there's community, and regardless of what we experience, the trauma, the anxiety during session, we all support each other. And it's been really lovely that despite all the barriers and challenges that we've seen in having people's voices heard at the Capitol, that we can still turn out and be family, even though we're strangers and we don't necessarily know each other very well. But we come away with a tremendous amount of friends. And I'm hoping that in 38 days, when this is all said and done, we are not, we're not in grieving as a result of the things that have transpired here at session. I'm going to drop a couple of things in the chat of how you can get involved with session, even if you're unable to come in person. I know that it's an act of courage sometimes to come to the Capitol and share your story and be that vulnerable and visible. So I understand that, but there's so many other ways that you can get involved, and I hope that you do. It's wonderful to see a lot of familiar faces here and also some new ones that I've never come across. So I'm happy to see y'all. Thank you for all the work that you do and that you will do in the future. And Christina, thank you for having me.
Ricardo, thank you. And I want you to know that I've updated the schedule for it to say Equality Texas and not Equality Austin. Also, all of the things that y'all are sharing in the chat, I will take all of those pieces of information that you've shared to the attendees, and I'll create one sheet of everybody's information, and I will put that in the shared folder that's on the schedule for everyone to have access to at the end of this. You can also individually save the chat for your own resource folder. And we have two more we added on. We have Stephen Russell and Chris Zhu from UT Austin.
Hi, I'm the absent-minded professor who said, Chris, how did you get in there? So I came in as Chris, and there were two Chris's, and then there were two Stevens. And anyway, I'm a professor of human development and family sciences at UT, and a director of our School of Human Ecology. And I study the health and well-being of LGBTQ people, and was presenting today on this project, Stories and Numbers, which I will put in the chat. That is a project that we did with Equality Texas. Good to meet you, Ricardo, before your time, and with Without Youth, that is really designed to take, in the last decade, take the research that has really emerged that tells us what makes a difference in schools and make it useful and usable for young people, for their parents, for teachers, and ultimately for policymakers. So I'll put that in the thing and you can check it out. And Chris is here too.
I put the link in the chat. Please check out the website for resources.
Thank you, Chris. And I want you to know also Stephen and Frederick and Chris and Ricardo, with those three organizations, Stories and Numbers, we included in all of our Pride swag. We included an English and Spanish version that went to every single campus in AISD, and some of them went to central office for the different floors to read through. So thank you so much for that amazing resource.
Fantastic.
And last but not least, our amazing keynote speaker, Rick Miller. And before you get to introduce yourself again, I want to say that we're all going to do one thing that Rick told us to do. We're all going to put our hands above our head. We're going to take a deep breath in. Oh, yes, because when you said to do that earlier, and then you said, how did that just make your body feel? And that our bodies are our greatest allies. I love you, I love you, I love you, as the Austin Gay Men's Chorus says, putting everything all in one place. Perfect.
Well, you gave me the permission to do that, so I appreciate it. Help settle me as well. So my name is Rick Miller, and I'm the founder and executive director of Gay Sons and Mothers, which is a nonprofit organization. And what we do is we chronicle the emotional bond between gay sons and their mothers through photographs, videos, and personal stories. Our goal is to increase the acceptance of gay sons and their families, communities, and peers. We share multicultural, ethnically, and racially diverse stories affirming that being gay is positive and something to be proud of, and more importantly, that mothers deserve to be honored for their roles in raising healthy sons, because frequently they've been blamed rather than honored. I'm also very happy to say that we are the first organization that's paying a lot of attention to this, which is hard to believe in this day and age that no one has really done this research before. So thank you, Christina, and thank you everyone for having me. It's a thrill to be here.
Awesome, everybody, everyone, y'all. Okay, so now we get to go into our Q&A. So those of you in the attendees, or maybe it's even panelist to panelist, if you can put in, I'm going to follow both. Allie and I will follow both, either in the chat or in the Q&A. Start dropping your questions so we can start asking something. I hear a lot of typing, so as I hear the typing, I think I want to drop the first question to Ricardo with Equality Texas. You mentioned a lot of things going on. What's probably the number one thing that we as members of the LGBTQIA community and allies of the community can do right now with what's going on in Texas in the legislature?
I can give you a list of things to do, but I will boil it down to the three most important mission critical things that we can do to defeat anti-trans legislation. Number one is contact your rep. And that if you don't know your rep, we have resources on equalitytexas.org that allow you to type in some information and find out exactly who that person is and call them. Share your personal story if you're comfortable doing so. Let them know that you're in opposition to all of the anti-LGBTQ filed bills, both the youth sports bans and the medical care bans, because those will have detrimental effect on our communities, and we have to fight those. That is the #1 priority for Equality Texas on the defensive front. #2, you can submit testimony via our portal at equalitytexas.org. And the third one is we're having a rally on Wednesday. And I put that information in the chat. This is Texans Deserve Better, United Against Anti-Trans Legislation. And we want as many people to show up as possible. This is one of the few in-person demonstrations that we're doing this year in collaboration with the Transgender Education Network of Texas, HRC, Human Rights Campaign, Texas Freedom Network, Lambda Legal, and so many other partners, including, I think, Out Youth. So hopefully we will have hundreds of people there. You can be in community. You can stand in solidarity with very many people. And if you need more information, ricardo.martinez@equalitytexas.org. Happy to send the details via email.
Thank you, Ricardo. We do have a question in the chat, and it may be directed to Rick Miller. And if anyone else wants to chat in here, it says, where can we read more about raising healthy sons and being affirming mothers? Are there books or websites?
That's actually why I'm working on this project. There are not many books that I'm even aware of, and the websites, we have a bunch of films with gaysonsandmothers.org, so I think you're best off to go to our website, again, gaysonsandmothers.org. Send me an email and I'll send some resources, but there's very little information on this topic, and frequently the best source of support, of course, are other mothers. So I'm assuming there's groups for parents in Austin, like there are all over New England as well. That's a great source as well.
And I'm going to jump in here a little bit because I think Kelly's too polite to do it, because in addition to, you know, this question about raising good kids, you see the book behind her. There are so many great examples in there. And I know she would never say this, I'm saying it for, but really great advice about encouraging kids to be leaders, encouraging them to be their best selves, encouraging yourself to be your best selves. And I've read it, I've got it here. You can't see it because it keeps disappearing. And I can tell you, it's good lessons for raising LGBTQ kids or for raising really good allies and really good people who are going to take care of everyone in the community. So highly recommend if you're looking for resources about raising kids as well.
I would like to also add that PFLAG Austin has PDF books made by our parent organization about that subject. And also you're welcome to join the support call, which are just 3 every month. And they basically share, we all share best practices and stories and experiences. And obviously we're all there for the purposes of raising healthy children.
And I just wanted to add that, you know, people ask me all the time, like, how do you raise a champion? How do you raise a gay child? How do you raise a child like you raise a child? You raise that human to be a decent human being, and the rest falls into place. They have the confidence to be their authentic self. And that's a decent person who not only stands up for themselves, but stands up for their people around them, even people they don't know. They still feel an obligation to stand up for decency. And thank you, Susan.
And then just to add, in 2017, I wrote He, She, They, Us, being an ally to the transgender people in your life. And it's a 65-page book. I wrote it specifically focused on the idea in my head was a student or a child, a kid comes out to their parents on Christmas Eve, and then they go to bed. This is something just quick and dirty that a parent could download on Kindle and get through in a couple hours and get just the bare bones information, what they can do.
Thank you, Jessica. And Suzanne and Kelly and Rick. Rick, this might be to you. How do we submit pictures or document our relationships with our own mother, asking for a friend?
Oh, asking for a friend. We love those questions. On any of our social media pages, you can private message me there, or you can just send me photos, and I would absolutely love that. rick@gaysonsandmothers.org. Thanks so much.
And this is for Ricardo Martinez, and we also have several people from universities here, so this could be to more people on the panel. From one of our attendees, what do you recommend students study at the university who want to follow in your footsteps? I'm going to send that one to Ricardo, but I want to also extend that to those of you that are at universities or at UT or at Texas State. How are the universities letting kids in the LGBTQIA community know that where to go for resources and help and be a part of a club, an association, or do good work?
Yeah, I would say that my journey was pretty unique. I was, I think, 13 or 14 years old in junior high school when I joined this club called Council for Unity, which was based all around service, right? And being of service to your community. And through that organization, I was able to volunteer at so many incredible organizations, including the Gay Men's Health Crisis in New York City. And one of the things that I always recommend folks is to either intern or volunteer at as many organizations as possible, because that's where you get the experience and you begin to know what you like and what you don't like. And that'll point you in a more definitive direction of what you want to focus your life, right? Because this is my passion. This is what I've always wanted to do. But in terms of schooling, I really just focused on political science and then went to receive a nonprofit degree from in a master's in public administration. But I think what was more transformative for me was volunteering at so many different organizations that pointed me closer to where I needed to be and where I could best use my talents.
Thank you, Ricardo. And the other UT or Texas State representatives?
Hi, everybody. This is Grayson, he and they pronouns. Yeah, I think joining GSAs, what are they now called? They're not gay straight alliances.
Gender and sexuality alliances.
Thank you, Frederick. I knew you would chime in. I was just waiting for you. Thank you. So joining those, I mean, Stephen Russell's work has shown us that schools that have GSAs have lower instances of bullying. So that's a great space. Also, I teach in LGBTQ studies at UT Austin. And so there are programs for us to study our own histories and knowledges and cultures. And Jessica, I think, can speak to that too, because I think she's currently working on something on her campus. So I'll popcorn to her.
Okay, thank you. With Texas State, we're early in the process. We're working on a queer studies minor. We have quite a bit more work to do, so it's going to be a couple of years at least before we have that available. But you know, as I look over the various organization leaders that I know, and I think that it's most important that when a student shows up at the university, they follow their passion. I think what's very easy for us to fall into this, into a you know, a strictly job-based outcome, and look at universities as a tech school. But I think that finding their passion and following that may be the best advice I could give.
Yeah, I'll add to both and just say, I think one of the, I think people like Jessica and Grayson and I would be the people that could tell you who's doing what. Because the truth is, you can do LGBTQ work in social work, in government, in science, in literature, in music, in math. I mean, you can do it anywhere. And so folks that have been, you know, your gender sexuality center or your LGBTQ studies program is the place where you'll find the faculty that are kind of all over the place. And not every place has somebody everywhere. But I think that's what, you know, Grayson's work at UT is so important for bringing us together and creating a network of people that are all over the university doing LGBTQ, living LGBTQ lives and doing LGBTQ work.
I wanted to add in to Jerome's question about following Ricardo's footsteps. So I'm a biochemist from UT. I graduated 2-3 years ago, but advocacy is like my passion, and that's what I wanted to do afterwards. And Ricardo is honestly one of my mentors. He actually wrote me the recommendation to get into LBJ school, where I'll be attending to get a master's in public affairs. So an advice I would give to students is just major in whatever you're passionate about, and later in life, you can also do advocacy work based on whatever degree you have already.
Yeah, I definitely do have to, agree with that. As a student in college, it's still going to college, still got like a year and a half worth of college left to go. I studied psychology, and then I got more specific with what I do. I'm still doing all my athletics, and still doing what I'm doing, but when I get asked, what do you do for your advocacy? All my papers that I write in my classes are towards transgender issues and trans athletes. So whatever you want to specifically talk about, and if a student asks you, what can I do, or if whatever you want to do, just get involved with the work and start writing papers, start, getting involved with different organizations, just doing everything, like little things like that is to the big step of being able to advocate ultimately. And whatever you're doing, like start having and changing the narrative, like conversations at home.
Thank you, everyone. Those are, we've gotten a lot of great comments in the chat that you're doing a phenomenal job today. So I wanted to reiterate that. I have 2 questions. One was answered in the Q&A, but I wanted to pull it up. In the Q&A, you all have the ability in the panelists to answer this, but someone was asking, what social media accounts, Instagram in particular, would you recommend for positive and encouraging LGBTQ+ content? I know the ones that are fighting, but sometimes I want one just for positive experience, such as Upworthy. If anyone has something that comes to mind and they want to speak that out, otherwise you can also type it into the Q&A. And I'll assume that we're gonna put those in the Q&A. Thank you, Grayson, for following up on that. And here is one more question. Stephen Russell, Jessica Sukup, Grayson Hunt, and I'm sure it can go to more panelists. Do you have a doctorate you recommend? This is coming from an attendee. I have students who want to get their doctorate, but they do not know which one flows with queer studies into a doctorate. Do you recommend anything specific? Thank you.
This is Grayson. Just for accessibility, I can read what I answered, which is that I'm trained in philosophy. So there are departments and PhDs that you can get in philosophy. But I was told to do that because women's and gender studies and LGBTQ studies are not robust disciplines the way that things like engineering, philosophy, and all the other things are. So there's a political issue there. So I was told to go where I could find a departmental home. And this is to speak to what Stephen would said, LGBTQ studies is the study of queerness wherever it arises, right? So it arises in the arts, it arises in the sciences, hard sciences, soft sciences, it's everywhere. We're everywhere. Our knowledges and methodologies are everywhere. So what I've found is that people, find a discipline they want, say linguistics, and then they work on, what is the state of queer, language and such. So you start from a department and you get your queer experience through the course offerings at the university, which is what LGBTQ studies offers, which is a specialization in queer studies that kind of tacks on to your degree of choice.
Yeah, I'll just add, I think that a doctorate is kind of a irrational thing to do, frankly. And you have to be passionate about it. So I'd say, like, what is it that you love? What are the kinds of questions that you want to answer? The kinds of things you want to explore? And pursue that with your queer lens. And so maybe you are a scientist, or maybe you are a performer, or maybe you're a thinker, or maybe you're a reader. And in any of those fields, you can, I think, find your way. Certainly as an undergraduate, you can start to, find the spaces and places where the queerness is clear in those fields. And then that, for your doctorate, go find those people who are doing the coolest work at the edges of those spaces.
Yes, just saying the same exact thing. Queer what you're doing. Queer your passion.
We could also use a lot of lawyers too to help fight for our rights.
I want to share also that someone put the Instagram for Karina Mata in the chat, so pick that up as part of the Q&A answer. So let's go ahead and close out with this. Is there any final thoughts you want to leave our attendees with, or any final thoughts from any of our panelists? We'll take just 2 or 3 minutes to wrap this up, and then we'll say our thank yous, and I have an awesome closing video for us this afternoon.
Can anyone just speak?
Sure.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there was an order. The one thing that I always try to anchor ourselves in is authenticity and living our brightest and most authentic life. And I know that in Texas that might be difficult to do. And so I know that there are folks, allies, and maybe trans youth who are listening. And I just want to let them know that they are perfect exactly just as they are. And they have a network of advocates and allies across Texas who are fighting feverishly, endlessly for them and for our rights. And it might seem hard now, but you have a family that's waiting for you, and a tremendous amount of love across the state. So regardless of what you hear in the news or what's saturating the narrative publicly, there are a lot more people that love you and understand you than folks who are going to be maybe not willing to understand our humanity in the way that we see ourselves. So don't fret and stay true to course, be authentic, resilient, and there's a family waiting for you.
You are loved, you're valued, you're important.
Go for it, Meebs. I see you want to talk. I don't know if you had a closing statement. You leaned in.
Oh, were you calling me out?
Oh, I did. Not to embarrass
Oh, sorry.
you, but
We couldn't hear you.
forward,
It's cutting off a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sure, so sorry about that. Yes. No, we were just having a conversation about how wonderful Ricardo is. We were actually just talking about how inspiring and no, really, inspiring his speech was, to be authentic and to be yourself. I come from Saudi Arabia, so I grew up not knowing even what gay was or what LGBTQ was until I moved here. And I was like, wait, that's me. The word for gay is like, it's a bad word. So it's like, there's no terminology. So I didn't even know what it was. So I'm super happy to be here, and I'm super happy for anyone who's watching and is queer. We love you, and join Embrace. There's a lot of young people here, a lot of old people too. We want to build a collaborative queer Texas. Thank you.
I keep welcoming any closing statements from anyone else.
Again, my name is Frederick. My pronouns are they, them. I'm the Texas GSA Network Coordinator. And I just want to thank all of the students who have joined us throughout the day. It's really my great honor and privilege to get to work with young people who are so, I'm going to tear up, so fierce and so authentic, and know who they are and are willing to fight for that, even if it's not necessarily a safe fight for them wherever they are in Texas. And getting to be the person in your corner, getting to be the adult who has your back and has the claws out and ready for you is such a privilege. So thank you for letting the adults who are here support you, because you are the reason that we're here. you are amazing and wonderful and fantastic, and we're doing everything we can to make this better for you because you deserve the whole world.
Okay, I'll give that, that as a teacher, I was a teacher for 18 years. I know it doesn't look it, thank you. I want to give that 20-second hold in case anyone else has anything else they want to say before we move into our thank yous and our closing video.
I just want to say for anyone listening that there could be some misplaced loyalties. Be with people who lift you. Be with people who make you feel bigger than you think you are. Sometimes people gravitate toward their born family. Sometimes you have to stretch outside your house to find a home. So keep that in mind. And thank you for inviting me today.
Awesome. Then I'm going to take this opportunity now to just say some thank yous. First of all, thank you to all of our participants throughout the day, students, parents, caretakers, community members, our AISD staff, our teachers, our SEL team, our administrators and principals, our parent engagement support office, our counseling team, with the lead of Megan Butler, who created all of our activities with her team for the week. Thank you, Michelle, from our health office. Thank you for being my ally when all the other things behind the scenes happen. Thank you to our translation and interpretation office. They have helped to get the message out in other languages, both in posters and the website and announcements, and even this event today and all of our events throughout the week. Thank you to our communications and community engagement department, to Scott Thomas and Ali Ghilarducci. All of our community partner organizations and presenters today, as you see across this beautiful rainbow panelists. And then, of course, our superintendent, Dr. Stephanie Elizalde, and thank you to the Board of Trustees for being the leaders in a district that support the LGBTQIA community and allow us to amplify voices, and they allow us to celebrate, inform, and inspire in Austin, Texas. I would like to thank the Austin Gay Men's Chorus, and I would like to thank our welcome speaker, Susia, and our keynote speaker, Rick Miller. Thank you for picking this up when we were in dire needs. Of course, last but not least, I want to thank the planning committee and all of the moderators from today's sessions. Thank you for handling the technical difficulties with grace and for working with our partner groups and our presenters with grace. Thank you, everyone.